Welcome, 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 beautiful souls. I am Natandra Hosky, your host with the most. You are here on the Frequency of Abundance. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. We are kicking it off. We are halfway through week 2, season 7. We started off on Motivational Monday, living as a legend in training. We looked at Transformational Tuesday. Your ripple effect is already happening. Today on Wealth Wednesday, pass it on. Energy, wisdom, and wealth. You get to teach what you know, model what you believe, and share what you've earned. On Thursday, we've got Thought Leadership Thursday. Don't just build a brand, build a bloodline of brilliance. And then we end the week on Fearless Friday. Legacy requires the courage to be first. And then on the weekends, you get to stream, restream, and enjoy us and binge watch it multiple times where we take the whole week and just restream it a couple times a day over the weekend. Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, join us at the Frequency of Abundance. Know that we are here to play, and we are here to play a big game. And we're really focusing on you. This is a place where the blessed people at Allura Creative Agency, they've given us the opportunity to really shine. Here, I'll put some contact information in the chat so you can join us. And when I say shine, I mean we've got the ability to go Frequency of Abundance, 7 seasons. Moving and grooving. I love that. Now we've also got the Voices That Lead podcast. So if you want to be a leader, if you have legacy, if you want to be limitless and help others be limitless, I have a place for you to shine. So many ways to play in the same sandbox. So for now, I want to make sure you know where you can go and where you can have some fun. Pop into LinkedIn, go to the Frequency of Abundance, boop, click on groups, come join us. Dozens of others there will be waiting for you to say hi. Lots of cool, fun stuff that we do. And later on, I'll tell you a couple other things. But right now, I'd like to get the party started. And I think that the best way to go would be really to think that while today is Wealth Wednesday, we're not just talking about money. We're diving into the deeper layers of wealth. Little Creek Mountain Tea. So we're looking at mental, energetic, spiritual, and yes, financial. Because today's episode is titled Pass It On, Energy, Wisdom, and Wealth. Because real wealth isn't hoarded. You don't get to be Scrooge McDuck and just jump into your gold coins and piles of them and stuff and swim. It's handed down. It's poured out. It's shared. So, not in your ego, but in your legacy. Now, if you're building something worth remembering, this episode is your blueprint. Let's get into it. The myth of accumulation. He who dies with the most toys still dies. I'm so sorry if no one has shared this with you before, but nobody gets out of this life alive. Sorry. It's just the way it is. We've been sold the lie that wealth is what you gather, but real wealth, it's what you circulate. That's why it's called cash flow. What you transform into momentum for others. So some actionable items would be audit your hoard. What knowledge do you have? What contacts? What resources? What tools have you kept locked in your own vault? List 3 things you've never shared that could benefit somebody else. Who helped you? Identify one person whose wisdom or generosity shaped your growth. Message them. Thank them. Then pay it forward. This is where we look at energy as an inheritance. So the room shifts when you enter. That's your energetic wealth. You're always transferring something. Calm or chaos. Scarcity or safety. Curiosity or control. Your presence teaches others how to feel. So let's look at a good exercise. List 5 people you've influenced just by how you show up. Now reflect. What energy do you consistently pass on? Is it aligned with what you want to be known for? Is that the legacy that you want to leave? Is that where you feel that you're the most abundant in and that you can help someone else become limitless? Keep pushing that as your overall filter, those glasses that you want to look everything through. Let's reframe that wealth isn't stored in banks, it's stored in bodies, in breath, in tone, in leadership. So when we're teaching what you know, Now you know that it's, oh, is it a difficulty? No. When you want to really learn something, the best way to do it is to teach. When you teach what you've lived, you go above and beyond what you've read. You've survived storms, you've figured out workarounds, you've spotted patterns others can't see. That wisdom isn't just yours to keep. It's a tool to shape generations. It's your responsibility, not just to give it and to share, but to guide it and to hold it and to escape it. The life you save, you're now responsible for. How many lives have you saved? Are you living responsibly for that? Are you focusing on them and yourself and how to rise up? So let's look at some of those tools that can help shape a generation. There's tools to share wisdom. When you write it down, start a legacy doc. Lessons you want your kids, clients, colleagues to know. Record a voice memo every week with one insight or lesson that you've learned from exercise and experience. Store them in a folder called Legacy. Maybe mentor someone, a peer, not just someone younger. That's easy. Lateral mentorship can be as powerful as vertical. You get out of your comfort zone, you go over to somebody that you don't think needs mentoring because they're just as awesome sauce as you are, and then offer them. Could we mentor each other? Could I look at you and you look at me? Why does that sound so weird? You don't think a massotherapist has a massotherapist? You don't think a doctor has a doctor? You don't think a coach has a coach? Are you kidding me? How hypocritical would that be? Of course they do. You're the only one who feels a little bit off and uncomfortable just because it's something you're not used to, that's all. When you get more used to it, oh my goodness, learn what that would feel like. That you can come to somebody who's younger than you and hasn't experienced what you've experienced, and of course they'll be blown away with you, and you're not doing it for your ego, but you're also able to only bring them up so far. You can't mess with them too much. They still have to experience the good, the bad, the ugly, the joyful. That's theirs. That's their life. They have to go through that. So you can only influence so much. Meanwhile, a peer, you can tell them what's what. Lateral mentorship, not just vertical. Contemplate that and see who you'd like to play with today. Who's already at your level. Because then when it's their turn to help you, you know that it's someone you can trust. So let's look at really modeling what we believe. Your beliefs become someone else's baseline. Your habits, your rituals, your boundaries, they're visible. People around you borrow your belief system. I always did. I looked around and said, not a big believer in this absolute ultimate truth. I believe truth and really ways to measure it are based on effectiveness. I believe effectiveness is the measure of truth. So if you're telling me that I'm, fat, ugly, lazy, have cancer, whatever it is, if that truth isn't effective for me and it doesn't help me or make my life better, I just choose not to believe in it. I don't give any power to the boogeyman, and he goes away. So I don't believe in those things, and thus I don't enforce them with my power. If they have their own power, if they're genuinely alive on their own, that's cool. But I'm not going to add to it. I'm not going to give them. I'm not going to give out. And I'm not going to increase their frequency by draining anything from me. So when your beliefs become someone else's baseline, they're visible. And people all around you borrow your belief system. What are you modeling? What are you truly standing for? Are you defaulting to what's comfortable? Or are you pulling and pushing yourself? Because that progress equals happiness. Look at a bodybuilder. They go to the gym, they work out, it hurts. But the progress, they smile, equals happiness. Let's do a mini audit. Let's take a look right now. What do your mornings say about what you value? What does your calendar reveal about your priorities? What's one behavior you tolerate in yourself that just contradicts your higher self? And if you really look at it, your highest self? Let's look at one action item today. We're going to embody the version of you that you want others to copy. and then we're going to do it in public. It's not enough if you're sponsored by Coca-Cola to just drink Coca-Cola or Red Bull or whatever or whoever. You have to have the can turned around so everyone can see in public that you're drinking Red Bull. That's called conspicuous consumption, and you need that. Everyone needs to know what you're picking up on and putting down, what's important to you, what you believe in, what you stand by, what you endorse. That's why these are called celebrity endorsements. So let's pick one action today to embody the version of you that you want others to copy. Like a celebrity endorsement, let's do it in public. Let's turn the can around. Let's let everyone see the amazing new you. Now, if you've been playing with this all along, and if you've been having fun, I want you to know that there's some very cool places that you can come into and not just sit back and relax and watch the frequency of abundance and, just enjoy it for you. That's for you. This is all for you to put your mask on first so that you can go help others. You are an entity in a universe unto yourself. Voices That Lead podcast. Now that, my friend, is for others. That is when you've come to the level of personally matching that. Who do you serve? What is your legacy? If you only had one way to help someone else become truly limitless, what would that be? Those are the questions you answer, so my audience gets to see all of our guests through that beautiful filter of those 3 questions. Now, if this is for you, take a look. I'd love to have you on the show. We're doing some very big things, and we just got picked up by a TV network. So your voice will be heard.
Ever wonder what sets real leaders apart? It's not the corner office, it's the impact they make. Welcome to the Voices That Lead podcast with Natan Verkovsky, where we dive deep with leaders who put service first. These aren't just CEOs or big names. They're people making a difference, building legacies through acts of kindness, mentorship, and heart. Every episode you'll hear powerful stories, straight from those who lift others up and inspire change. Looking for practical advice, authentic conversations, or just a spark to unleash your own limitless potential? You'll find it here. Because leadership isn't just about where you end up. It's about who you help along the way. Join the community and get inspired. Reach out to be a featured guest on the program. Leaders, legacy, limitless. Subscribe to the Voices That Lead podcast. Join us as a speaker and let others be inspired by you. Become the leader you're meant to be.
I love that. I believe we're all meant to be leaders. I believe we're all meant to shine. I believe we're all meant to get out there and rise up, not just for ourselves, but then for others. I believe that you should not only be looking around you and going, hey, you know what? The tide really does rise all boats. Small, medium, large, it doesn't matter what kind of boats. And I want you to remember that, oh my goodness, I'm not a boat. I'm the tide. So let's help you remember that. Let's look at sharing what you've earned. We often think of legacy as a will, but legacy isn't paperwork. It's behavior plus belief plus resources. But you got to share that in real time. So let's look at 3 layers of wealth that you really get to pass on. Number 1, financial wisdom. Not just your wins, but your mistakes. How and why. There's famous people who bet big and early on Facebook and Google and Twitter, and they crushed it. But then for the next 3 years, every single financial bet they made just failed and failed and failed. And it wasn't that they came in too early, and it wasn't that they did the wrong thing. They were following the same formula. You have to remember, if you're playing a game like poker, and the highest possible probability that you can have is, let's say, 17 out of 20. The hard part's going to come down where when you do the rule, 17 out of 20 times you will win because you're supposed to. It's the mathematical probability. It's the rule. What happens the 3 times you don't win when you're following the rule? Can you keep it together? Can you emotionally stay resilient? Because it's not going to make logical sense, and man, oh man, it doesn't matter the size of the pot. It's going to upset you because it's only human. You're following the rules, you're doing what you're supposed to do, but dang it, it's not working. What the heck? Should I abandon the rules? Should I not do this? Should I? Uh-oh. So now you've won 17 times in a row, you've lost once, and now you're doubting the whole thing. Can you imagine what would happen if on the 18th time you also lost? This is crazy. I can't believe it. So those last 17 times must have all been a fluke, which mathematically is pretty impressive. 17 flukes in a row is astronomical. But what would happen if you then look at it and be like, okay, now what? And that's where I want you to think about this. When we look at your financial wisdom, not just your wins, but your mistakes, because that's where I want to play that on the 18th time, which is technically mathematically okay, you're supposed to lose 3 times out of every 20. I didn't say it was going to be in a row, but what if it was? Now you're freaking out because now number 17 won, but 18 didn't. 19 didn't. And you're like, oh my God, am I going to follow the rules and play with math again? Well, according to what you've been taught, yeah, mathematically, no kidding, it's overwhelmingly in your favor to just shut up, take your losses the 2 or 3 times that it happens, and enjoy your wins. Focus on where your attention goes, because that's where your energy flows. And if you're flowing and focusing on that, you're going to get more of that. Sure enough, now that you're nervous and off-rattled and a little bit of that, guess what happens? You do the same formula, and now the 20th one hits, and again, it fails. And you're like, that's it. I'm never going to follow this again. Your 3 losses in a row completely eradicated the 17 victories in a row. 3 losses in a row is very mathematically probable and acceptable and expected. 17 wins in a row isn't. Where would you like to focus? Take a look at Aloha. Thank you. Take a look at where you're coming from. Look at now the second layer of wealth to pass on. Time and access. Introduce someone to a room they couldn't reach. That's incredible. You've up-leveled their game and increased their network just by being a center of influence. Third layer of wealth to pass on, resilience. Teach how you bounced back, not just how you succeeded. That'll only go so far and help somebody so much. Now, don't just give money. Teach people how to carry it with grace. Look at the integration, the ripple effect. Here's the truth. The moment you pass something on, your energy, your story, your tools, you become immortal in someone else's momentum. You echo in their breakthrough. You ripple into rooms you will never walk into. You extend your frequency beyond your lifetime. I've had postcards sent to me from people that I've never met that said, we may never meet, but I really hope we do one day because you completely changed my life. It's a beautiful feeling. You extend your frequency beyond your lifeline and your timeline. So let's look at taking 60 seconds, hand on your heart, breathe in deeply and ask, who am I becoming through what I pass on? What do I want to be remembered for? By those I've never met. Now, let's go deep. Let's look at some thoughts. Wealth multiplies when it moves. That's why it's called cash flow. Legacy isn't the story of what you did. It's the story of others and what they tell because of how you lived. Teaching one person is enough. They'll ripple it to 10 more. There's a lot of people who go, I need to touch 1 billion lives. I'm like, great. Why don't you touch one person who's responsible for 1 billion lives? It'd be the fastest way to do it, don't you think? Model clarity over charisma. People follow what they can trust. They like you, but there's something, I'm just not clear about. Clarity. You can't wait till you're ready. All the lights can't turn green before you leave the house. So you have to start transferring wisdom now. No one's guaranteed tomorrow. I don't have a note from the big guy upstairs. Maybe you do. If tomorrow's guaranteed to you, blessings. I live as if it's not. So your energetic baseline is going to be your most valuable currency. And that's where I want you to play in the harmony of the now. Pass on the answers, not just the... You're already passing on the answers. I want you to think about passing on the questions. The smarter they get at asking better questions, the closer and quicker they'll get to getting the right answers. That's why it's so important who you hang out with. Your parents have always told you, the 5 people you hang out with the most, it dictates who you are. Yeah, who you include in your circle defines who you inherit as your energy, because you inherit theirs. That is the focal point. Inheriting the other's energies is all around you. That's why repetition is transmission. When you embody your message daily, your story of failure becomes somebody else's instruction manual. Oh, don't do that. Yikes. Legacy lives in that consistency. It's not these giant grand gestures. It's focused, because money without meaning fades. Wealth without wisdom, that endures. Wealth with wisdom endures. So there's a beautiful story where they took all these amazing names of people like Rockefeller and Vanderbilt and all these famous family names, and they talked about, after that first guy who made the money, what was it like the second generation? Did he teach them how to use the wealth, or did he just give them money? No, he gave them money. By the second generation, 50% were broke. 3-4 generations later, less than 10% of those famous families have the original money that was available to them. It was the knowledge they were never told. So let's recap. In the scape of today, in the focal point of where we're talking about, I want you to think that the wealthiest people are often the most generous with their time, with their praise, and with their presence. And because this is the beginning of your legacy in motion, every moment you teach, model, or share, you invite others into a frequency they didn't know existed. This is called the frequency of abundance for a reason, people. So go out there today, be the one, pass it on. Know that that's where we play, and that's where you can stay. And I want you to come join me if there's a way that we can help rise you up, personally or professionally. Please let me know. Take a look.
I'm excited to introduce you to Allura Creative Agency, the world's first and only not-for-profit public relations powerhouse. Our mission is to increase your brand's visibility, credibility, and extend your global audience. In short, we hunt the whales for you. Our proprietary methodology blows a dog whistle to C-suite executives, leaders, founders, and owners across any industry. Welcome to our Executive Engagement Engine trademark. That's our secret sauce. It includes 3 proprietary processes: our Engagement Ignition trademark pre-event outreach process, our Commitment Catalyst trademark butts and seats process, and our Fortune Follow-ups trademark post-event outreach. These ensure the highest level of interest, virtual attendance, and follow-up conversations. As the world's first and only not-for-profit public relations powerhouse, what's our promise to you? Unparalleled commitment to transparency, ethical engagement, and impactful results. Partner with Allura Creative Agency and experience transformative executive engagement. Book a time to speak with us today, and here's to the evolution of your brand.
So join us. Know that we are here for you 7 days a week. I want you to go out there today, be the one who passes it on. Until tomorrow, stay aligned, stay generous, stay blessedly abundant, and as we always say,